56 past 10. We're up in Sydney. Been driving from, well, Culburra Beach, Bomaderry / Nowra. It's about a 2.5 hour drive. I've been kicking back, catching up on some Sailing La Vagabond in the car. Some good stuff going on here on the channel. If you're not familiar with Sailing La Vagabond, get on board. A couple of lovely people sailing around the world in a catamaran. Right now, take these out. I'm probably yelling with these on. Right now we are in Timbo's car. Hey Tim, how you going?
Good. Who's that?
He's driving.
Yeah, I'm going good. I'm driving.
He's busy. Hey Mum.
Busy.
Hi, good.
Got everybody here. So I had to come up to Sydney and Tim did as well, so that's why we're all in the same car. Otherwise I'd take the train up. But what I'm doing, I'm in town to sell this lens, which is my MP-65, which is a macro lens for Canon full frame, not for the GH5, but for my stills camera. And I haven't used it in so many years. In fact, the last time I used it was ironically in Culburra Beach, but that was when we were on a family holiday. Like, it's got to be a year and a half ago. These are the photos I took. Some macro shots there. That's grains of sand, spider, some celery, flower, and a berry. Yeah. So I haven't used it in how long? I mean, that was the last time I shot with it. So I figured I want to get some things for my stream, for my live stream. I need to get a couple of items around about the $300 mark. I won't explain what they are because it's too detailed, but this lens managed to sell it for $1,000, and I said to the dude who bought it, I'll come up to Sydney and hand deliver it to you, because I had been advertising it for quite a while I was back in Janali, and now that I'm in Culburra Beach, it's not fair that the dude who bought it would have to come and pick it up, so I said I'd come up and grab it. But yeah, if you're not familiar with this lens, it is a 1 through to 5 times macro lens. So what that means is when it's on the 1 time setting, which is right there, on a full frame camera, the item that you're shooting would take up the entire sensor. So take a grain of, not a grain of sand, take a grain of rice, pretty much cover the entire sensor. And then when you extend this bugger out to 2 times, then 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times, which is maximum extension, which is that, you can see you got the 5 times there, you can cover, and the whole grain of rice will not even fit in the sensor. It's an amazing lens, but it's very, very specialized. And look, to be honest, I've owned it for about 4 to 5 years, and I've only used it 3 or 4 times in total because I suck at macro photography. So I'm kind of happy that someone else is going to get a use out of it, and I'm going to replace that lens with 2 other items that are going to give me benefit. I mean, that thing's been sitting on my shelf for so long, so I'm kind of stoked to see it go. And I mean, the stuff that I did with it was kind of entry-level macro. You need to do focus stacking, and I wasn't doing that. I had a light ring, I had like a ring light set up, and that was kind of cool, but you need to do a lot more with macro, and I just didn't really find myself doing it, didn't really find myself with any time to do it. And yeah, those ones that I posted in that gallery are definitely the best of a pretty bad set, really. But yeah, if you've ever wanted to use a macro lens, the MP-65, this is definitely your